My name is Angie. I run a couple businesses. I run a real estate investing business, and I also have a speaking, coaching, and training business for female entrepreneurs.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Can you talk a little bit more about what you guys do with the speaking engagements?
Sure. I am a certified speaker, trainer, and coach. And what I do is I help women that need help kind of getting over themselves, right? And getting past some limiting beliefs, working through those limiting beliefs and getting clarity around their goals and direction so they can realize their full potential. And I do that through speaking engagements, community and mastermind groups, and then also coaching as well.
That sounds incredible. Maybe some of the girls on Suite will use your program one day.
Yes, I would love that.
So, what inspired you to start both of these businesses?
I worked in corporate America for 18 years, and I went through and I checked all the boxes and did everything I felt like I was supposed to do, and society told me I was supposed to do. So
Mhm.
I graduated from college, I got a good job, I kept getting salary increases, I got married, I had a baby, and I still felt like, I mean, all of that's wonderful, right? But
Yeah.
I still felt like something was missing, and I just my soul was still a little bit at unrest. And then I kind of fell into real estate investing through a girlfriend of mine, and I realized, I never really wanted to work for anyone else, but I didn't realize, so and that's part of what I love what you're doing. I didn't know that entrepreneurship was actually something that I could do and make money with it and support myself and have an amazing life. I had no idea. So once I started seeing that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is for me. So that's how I got into it. But a friend of mine was doing real estate investing, and then I got into that through her, and then still felt like I was missing one more piece, and I wanted to really. I'm passionate about helping women. I think that I've always been in a male-dominated industry, so I really want to help other women overcome their limiting beliefs because I had to overcome just to get out of my own way.
That is great. And it is kind of similar to Sweet because I started Sweet because I felt like I was too young or high schoolers were too young to start a business. So I didn't want other girls to feel like that either. Sounds like you clearly did become an entrepreneur even when you already had another job established at first. So, what would you tell a girl on the flip side of that who feels too inexperienced or too young to be an entrepreneur?
I would call her out and say, "Listen, that's a limiting belief." Um, and and I think I mean, I went into entrepreneurship when I was 40. So if you're not going to tell me I was too old to do that, then there's no reason that someone that's 13, 16, whatever the case is too young. I think there are resources that we need to be able to go into entrepreneurship and make sure that we're doing it well. But you're never too old and you're never too young. You should always continue to grow. And if you have a desire to be an entrepreneur and you have a voice inside of you, or you have a desire to do something, and there's a reason that was put inside of you, right? At some point. So someone needs to hear your voice or someone needs your product. So I would say, really it is a limiting belief, and get out of your own way and realize that people need to hear from you.
That is great advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm excited to ask you these next few questions because it seems like you'll have a lot of wisdom to share. So, what would you say is the most important first step when you start a company?
I would say research the resources you're going to need so you're going in prepared. So whether it's time, energy, money, um, you know, travel, a Zoom account, whatever it is, right? You need to know what you need to be successful. And I think some of that comes from asking other people that have already been there and done that. You can get online and do a lot of research. And I think also knowing your audience and knowing exactly who your target audience is, both of those things are equally important. So know what you need and know who you're targeting.
Completely. Research should never be overlooked.
Right.
And what do you think are the top 3 skills a girl needs to be a successful entrepreneur?
I would say persistence. You have to be persistent. Consistency, and a lot of that is I both of them, because persistence is just right. So you're going to have obstacles, you're going to have ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. That's just the nature of the beast. It's a really fun roller coaster, but it's a roller coaster. So just making sure you're persistent, but also consistency in a couple areas. Consistency in your marketing, so that you're not doing one thing and then you're turning around and trying to do something else and this doesn't work, and then you have shiny object syndrome, because that really inhibits your growth. But being consistent in your marketing, being consistent in your habits, making sure your habits are setting you up for success and they're helping you realize your dream, whatever that may be. So if you need to wake up, I personally slipped out of the habit of waking up early. So now I'm working on consistency of being up at 6 a.m. every morning and making sure I have that time, because it's really critical for me. And I would say self-motivation, because no one's going to wake you up or make you work hard or stay up late, or maybe you miss out on a party because you're prepping for whatever it is, right? A course or whatnot. But you need to be self-motivated and driven and know your goal, know your why, so that when things don't go as planned, you still keep going and you still have that motivation you need to succeed.
Those are all really great points. And good luck with the 6 a.m. I hope it's going well. That's
I
impressive.
was up at 6 a.m. today.
Wow.
It's funny how quickly you can fall out of a
Yeah.
habit. And I was doing it for a while, and then I blame COVID. I don't know.
Everything.
Yes.
So for girls who are interested in real estate or maybe coaching, could you give a little behind the scenes of, I guess, how you started and also kind of the platforms and more tangible things you use for your businesses?
Sure. So it's a little bit different. So we'll talk about real estate first. For real estate, I immediately joined a mastermind group and then went into a mentoring program and learned different ways of real estate investing, both creative financing, flipping, and then I learned wholesaling. So I got to try a little bit of everything to figure out what worked best for me and my personality. And I fell in love with wholesaling. I've been in sales my whole career. So it fit my personality type and it fit my need for instant gratification. And so some of the resources that I've used is, number one, if you know someone else has already paved that path and you have the opportunity to get a mentor or a coach, I would say hands down do it. That is the fastest way to success, in my opinion. And that is something that I did and has made me very successful. So I would say that. As far as systems, do you mean like software systems and things like
Yeah.
that? Okay, so for real estate investing, we use Podio as a software for any incoming leads, for seller leads. We use PropStream for running property comps. We use skip tracing services, and I'd be happy to provide you some links. We have some discounts if someone is interested
Thank
in
you.
moving forward with that. So skip tracing, we use Lead Sherpa for our texting platform, and Active Campaign for our email campaign manager for real estate investing. And then for the speaking, coaching, and training side, I kind of like things separated so I don't, kind of get confused or they don't overlap. So we use Infusionsoft, which I believe is now Keep. So we use that for our automation, our email automation, and then social media is primarily what I'm using for that. And then I also got a mentor and went through a certification program for speaking, coaching, and training. And that was something I needed to do both for me and for the people that I'm helping, because there are so many coaches and speakers out there, and a lot of them, I mean, it's just something different I wanted to do. So I wanted to make sure I was certified and I had that knowledge base and that power behind me to go out.
That is a really important point to remember, that you have, no matter how qualified you feel, you definitely have to go through the actual coaching.
Yes.
So you mentioned before some ups and downs, and there are definitely highs and lows of being an entrepreneur. So for you, what has been the most disappointing or difficult part of starting your own companies?
Um, so for me, I would say the most disappointing part, and I will go into real estate investing for this one, would be COVID. The second quarter, we really had a painfully slow quarter. So we had to, we basically scaled down. We were scaling up and scaled down, and I had to downsize a little bit. Um, so that was really disappointing. But what came out of that, because every time, like I said, it's a roller coaster, right? So you start here and then you're here and then it's up and
Mhm.
down. But really learning from that opportunity, I took a moment to step back. And as I was downsizing, and now we have a tiny team, but I'm much happier now. It fits my family life better. So it's always taking the opportunity and realizing what lesson there is from it. So the second quarter was not great. We had very few, if any, closings. Kind of blocked it out, right? But there was a lot of learning opportunities, and just realizing what works for me and making sure it was my dream and I was owning it. And it's really easy to get caught up in other people's dreams, and I was scaling and we were going to be so big in different markets, and I was like, oh wait, I don't want to do that. I want to send my kid to school, and I want to, pick him up from school and not be running. I've never worked in an office. I don't want to have an office. So I got rid of the office. And, I think with everything, there's a lesson to be learned. And I think that was one of the great things I got out of it, was a little reality check.
I think that's one of the best parts of entrepreneurship, that you can always change.
Yep. You can always change direction. I've done it quite a bit. So, and depending on, now we have such a small team, so it's very easy to make changes as needed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So besides learning from hardships, which is also an important step, how do you get through the tough times and setbacks?
Oh, I think remembering my why, and I'm the person where, also, if you tell me I can't do something, I am bound and determined to get it done and prove you wrong. That's just my personality. So for me, even getting through the tough times, it's remembering, hey, this is why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to help sellers, right? I'm doing this to make a living for my family. I'm doing this to help female entrepreneurs, and things need to be tweaked or adjusted so I can, whether it's getting to the right people and making sure I'm marketing to the right target audience, or readjusting marketing on one side, things need to be changed. So a lot of it is just self-motivation and my personality and my drive.
That's great. And what are the most rewarding parts of entrepreneurship for you?
I would say living my life the way that I envisioned, and with freedom and being able to help other people. And I am just innately not really a rule follower. So I really enjoy being able to do things on my own terms. I feel like I can be much more impactful and help many more people than I ever could have in corporate America. So I can make more money, I can help more people, I can work funky hours, I can work on the beach somewhere, I can pick my kid up from school. We can do all these things. And for me, I would say that that is the best part of entrepreneurship, is the freedom to really carve your own path and to make as much money as you want or don't want, and to really live as a lifestyle so that your business can revolve around your way of life, if that's how you choose to approach it. I do know other people approach it very differently, but mine is way of life first. So,
The best of all worlds.
yes.
This next question might differ for your two companies, and I know specifically your coaching one focuses on women. So, how do you address the gender gap in the entrepreneurial space or in real estate and coaching?
So for me, I have typically worked in a male-dominated industry my whole career. So it just drives me more to prove that I can do it as well, if not better. So that's a motivating factor for me. And it's amazing because even so, my real estate investing business is my own. It is literally called Angie Buys Houses, Central Florida. And then my coaching and speaking business doesn't, but it's Living Inspired Within. But it's Living Inspired Within with Angie Aki. And it's amazing to me still, and it hasn't happened as much with the coaching and speaking, but with the real estate business, people always say, oh, is it, oh, you and your husband are doing this? I'm like, no, it's me. It's just me, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you and your husband. I'm like, no, it's still just me. I am the decision maker. I am running this business. I am doing this. He has really, he's got his own job. He really doesn't have an interest in real estate, and he's supportive, and that's amazing. But it's my business. It's my dream. It's my goals that I'm acting out. So I think just making that known and getting that voice out there and getting my story out there, and that's part of what I'm trying to do a little bit better. So this is awesome, is to get out there and say, listen, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for women. It's an opportunity for mothers. It's an opportunity for whomever, because you basically have a blank canvas and you can do what you want. You just, obviously we need help and resources along the way, but everyone does. So
Definitely. And how do you address diversity in both of your workplaces?
my target audience for my coaching and speaking are female entrepreneurs. So that's my target audience. So if you fall into that, then I can help you. So for me, it doesn't matter, if we're looking at different races, um, it doesn't matter to me. Obviously, I'm more gender specific. So, so that is a difference there. But that's just for me, someone, that I have a passion to help. And I feel like there's a relatability factor there. And then as far as real estate investing, the buyers and the sellers we work with, it's all virtual. So quite honestly, we don't really know who we're working with. So if we can help them, or we can assign a property to them and help them meet their investment goals, or buy their property so they can get rid of a property issue, then that's great. So we look at it as more of are we the solution for you? In both businesses, are we the solution for you? Can I help you? If I can, then great, we're a good fit.
That all
Did
makes
I answer that? I
Yeah,
feel like I
makes complete
maybe did.
sense.
Okay.
Definitely. So I have a few more questions, and there's some fun ones. The first
Okay.
one is about time travel. So if you could go back to the founding of either or each of your companies and give yourself a piece of advice, what would you say?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I would say get clarity and more specific around my goals and direction, and really know what I wanted to make sure it was my dream. So because it is really easy to get caught up in shiny object syndrome, or to get caught up in someone else's dream, and you join a mastermind program and all of a sudden you're getting really big and you didn't want to get big. And it's just kind of easy to get caught up in that. So I would say really having a very clear vision of where you want to be and where you want to go, what you want your company to look like and your business to look like.
That is great advice for any time. I hope the girls watching this, starting their own companies, keep that in mind. And can you give a definition of shiny object syndrome? I've never heard that before.
Oh, really? Yes.
Mhm.
Sorry. So shiny object syndrome is just where you go from like one thing to another. So you're over here, then you're here, then you're here. So whether it's a marketing idea, and maybe it's, learning to do this, and then so maybe you're marketing via Facebook Messenger, and then you read a post somewhere about email marketing, and then you go do that for a little bit, and then you read a post about YouTube and you go do that for a little bit. So shiny object syndrome is just going from one thing to another without really putting forth the time, effort, energy, and consistency to see any results. So it's just like, oh, that's pretty over there, I'm gonna go focus on this. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, that sounds really cool. And that can be really distracting and really take away from what you want to do.
Completely. Well, thank you. That's good to
Mhm.
know. And what has been your most satisfying moment as the leader of your own companies?
Wow. So for me, I would say I quit my corporate America job the year I turned 40. Yay! Um, and I had a huge limiting belief because I had a very good and very successful sales career. And I had a limiting belief that I couldn't make as much or more money that I was making in corporate America running my own business. And I worked through that for a while. And the year that I quit my job, my corporate job, I made more money in my real estate investing business and gross revenue than I did working for corporate America.
Oh my
So
God.
that for me was awesome because it helped me. I crushed my limiting belief. I knew that I could do it, and it motivated me to be able to realize that I can make as much money as I want, right? It just depends on what I'm willing to do, what I'm willing to sacrifice, but I can make as much or more money in entrepreneurship than I can in corporate America and live a much happier for me life.
I can only imagine how satisfying that must have been. Wow.
It was awesome.
That is so impressive.
Mhm.
And when you have a big moment like that or accomplish a goal, how do you celebrate?
Um, I don't know. Around the family table, around the dinner table with my family over dinner, we always share about our day. So stuff like that, and then I like to kind of reinvest my money into real estate. So as far as monetarily, I usually find somewhere to park that money so that it can continue to grow and be put to work.
Cool.
So that may not sound super exciting for people, but it's exciting for me.
To each their own. And
Yes.
what is your favorite word?
My favorite word, I would say spectacular.
Cool.
It's a good
I
word.
like that. That's a really good word.
Yes.
And lastly, can you share a funny story from either of your careers?
Um, sure. I am An area of opportunity for me is Facebook Lives. I have done one, and I decided I was going to maybe not prepare as much as I should have. I'm like, oh, it's Facebook Live. You just kind of like hop on and talk, right? Well, not only did I not know how to turn it off when I was done, but I did, it just took a while. But I was going through and I was talking about a mastermind community group that I was launching in September. And I had things written out, so I did some preparation, but I was trying to say, this group is not for you if you don't want to make changes. This group is not for you if you don't want accountability, right?
Mhm.
That sounds much better. But I got on my Facebook Live and I was like, this is my first time. And I kind of freaked out. I was like, this group is not for you. And I just like, I got my paper and I tried to recover, and I guess I did, but I literally got on a Facebook Live to promote a mastermind community group. And then I told everyone, I mean, it was my first one. So let's be honest, there weren't a lot of views, thank goodness. But I told everyone the group wasn't for them. It was really amazing. It'll be a blooper. So I'm hoping it will be better after next week. I've joined a Facebook Live challenge because clearly I need some help. So I have enlisted some help. So I will report back, but hopefully there will be no more marketing against myself.
I think that's worth the story. Definitely. And good luck with your next try. I'm sure
Thank you.
you will learn from your mistakes.
It can't be much worse, right?
So those are all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to add or any last pieces of advice? Maybe you could talk a little bit about or give a little sneak peek into your coaching business since this is aimed towards girl entrepreneurs.
Sure, absolutely. I do have a Facebook group and I can send you the link for that. So anyone is welcome to join. It's a free Facebook group and it's a group of women. And what we do is we support each other, motivate each other. There's tips in there. We'll post events in there. There's actually a 5-day event, virtual event coming up that I'm going to post in there. I have I'm speaking at, so I'll post that in there. So I have a group that you all are welcome to join. And then as far as coaching and speaking, if another opportunity comes up, I'm happy to speak if you have a virtual event. And then the coaching is either one-on-one or in a group setting. So I do run a mastermind community group and have a couple of them every month. So right now we're going over it's like get unstuck and 10 things you need to make your dream a reality. So we're going over 10 questions that really set you up for success and setting your dream up for success, making sure you're going through the questions like, is it your dream, right? Or is it something someone else has kind of implanted in you, right? What are you willing to give up and things like that. So it's a 6-week mastermind community group. So we have that. And then trainings I'm going to be doing in the group and I'll be posting, but I'm open to any suggestions. So if there's anything you feel like would be helpful, please let me know. But I'm going to be doing a virtual networking event within the group as well. So we can all hop on Zoom. And I got on one last week. It was really awesome because you kind of have one-off conversations and then can reach out to everyone afterwards. And then I will also be doing some sales training for women as well, because I know that's something that a lot of women struggle with as far as feedback I've gotten. So I'll be doing a free sales training and I'll post that within the group as well.
Wow, that all sounds so cool and amazing. I can't wait to see it.